Thanks, John. That's a nice thing I've just learned today then. So if you mute everybody, you mute yourself as well. How sensible is that? Okay, right. So I'm Rob Wilson. We're going to talk a little bit about my online toolkit. A little bit about me. I'm an ESOL lecturer, IT and maths lecturer. I have a IT background, which is why I like to dig into and play around with lots of bits of software. So we've lost. Let's have a little look. Okay, that noise is really annoying. Okay, one sec. Okay, right. So I'm going to take you through. Let me just go back to the beginning. No, I'm going to take you through my online toolkit. The idea really with today, hopefully, is not to do this to you. I've only got about 12 slides and a little bit of a demo, so hopefully you won't suffer from PowerPoint poisoning. Okay, so I've got to start with. I've got a little poll just as people keep arriving. Just see what you think about this. There are 3 questions on the poll. On this poll, are about teaching in lockdown. So what sort of things did you do? Have you learnt any new skills? And do you think teaching has changed forever? So have a little go with that. See what you think. So if you're just joining us, we've got a little poll on the screen. Hopefully you can all see the poll. There's something going on in the chat. Let me have a look. Okay. So quite a few different answers coming in here. So lots of you seem to be teaching a whole class online. Lots of emailing worksheets. So quite a large proportion of people seem to have only having email exchanges only, which is kind of hardly surprising. Have you learnt any new skills? Well, so far that's 100%. I'll share that with you. Let's have a little. You got a couple of seconds just to finish if you want to do it. Okay, let me end that poll then. Okay, so looking at the results there, we've got lots of people teaching to a whole class, which is really good, and lots of varied and different ways of working. So feel free to have a little nose through that. The last one was interesting. So people think teaching has changed forever. I think that's probably true. So let's press on. I'm going to stop sharing that one. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay.
Rob?
Yeah?
But it cannot come in. Is there a reason? The link is not working for Zoriana.
For Zoriana.
Yeah.
Maybe I've got something against her. I don't know. I can't see any reason why not. There's no...
We had to click twice on the link to click.
And the more... Thank you for telling me about that. More under participants. I'm just going to try turning off those chimes. Hang on a sec.
See if you, yes, maybe you. Otherwise, I invite her. Invite.
Yeah, try inviting her. See what happens. Mute participants allow. Okay, right. So thank you for telling me how to turn off the off those chimes. Right, let's press on. So I'm going to try and. So I think things have changed. This was, for me, was what a waffle looked like, and now I know that it's the that nice little Microsoft symbol in the top right. I think I've already heard that 3 times today already in other trainings. Click on your waffle. This is what a Zoom looked like. I know that's different, and that probably would have been a remote desktop. So certainly things have changed quite a bit. So I definitely think it's a new time for teachers, and we're being more. Our expectation is that we're going to be having to deliver more content, or collecting and collating content. So what I'm going to do today really is run through. Obviously, we got a different issue that we can't just go to the photocopier, and we have to deliver things. And whereas in the past we could take a PDF, print it out, and not copy the answers, Now you've got a PDF with the answers in, so you have to be able to deal with that and chop off the answers before you send it out. So a lot of what you're doing is about organizing and managing content. So we're going to quickly cover
Rob, can I just ask you, Rob, are you sharing the PowerPoint? Because I can't see it on my screen.
Can you not see?
I can just see your little.
You can't see me, and you can't see.
I can see it, but in one tiny box. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I'm at the top. Can you see? You see underneath?
Yeah, I can, but just the tiny box. I can put it on speaker view, and then I can see it until somebody else makes a noise.
Okay, so if you lock it in speaker view, that might work. I think it's a case of really you're gonna have to just change yourself over to, so you've got a speaker view at the top rather than being in the, so if you click it, you should be able to get, oh, you've got to turn to me, haven't you? Hang on a second. Okay, I will try.
Doriana has the same problem apparently. I don't.
Okay, well, it's probably, what I'll do is I'll share my screen instead, and that might work. 1 second, it's not really a PowerPoint. Share. Okay. Right, let's just make this a little bit bigger. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to look at different ways of doing video, different ways of managing photos, a little bit of maybe a freshening up of some ideas in PowerPoint. Have a look at how I've been doing assessments, and how John, who's just been talking, how we've been doing some assessments, and a lot of the other ESOL teachers have been doing assessments, and some of the things that I'm going to be using going forward. A little section on organising it all. When I first did this, I didn't realise that we were going to really invest in Canvas. So you're going to hear quite a few mentions of Canvas. I played around with it a lot, but not enough yet to be an expert on it. But I'll show you some of that and how that might affect you as you start to see Canvas coming out as a replacement, for Moodle. I don't know if you've seen any of that, but we've got kind of a year of running two things in parallel, and then we'll be switching over to using Canvas. So a little bit on organising all this thing, and then I've got some challenges for you, because really what this is about exploring and being brave. When I started doing computing, my computer exam in my O-level was done with paper cards, and you sent things off to the local council, and then things came back 2 weeks later and they were wrong, and you sent them back again. Things have evolved quite a lot, and the most recent trend is this whole idea of having things like the waffle, where you have to find things, that nothing is obvious anymore. So you have to find and hover. So this bit here is all about a form. You'd have to hover over things to see these things here. And this little 3 dots down here, you'll see that all the time in applications. There's so many things that are hidden away that you need to start using your eyes, exploring and being brave. So hopefully, that, if nothing else, that's what you're going to come up with as a consequence of this talk today. I definitely think it feels like a new time. As I said, we're definitely managing, organising, and creating more content. When you start looking at Canvas, this is what it'll look like when you start opening a new screen to put your course curriculum in. It's a blank page. You've got to deal with having a blank page and putting stuff into it. So you can bring it in from different places, from Word and everywhere else, but we are about organising and managing content. Okay, so video is one of the first things that you can deal with. Now, with an IT background, I've got some great fancy software for putting in captions and adding music and merging things together, but it's time consuming. We don't want to be doing that. So I'm going to suggest that we instead, you look at some other tools. Zoom is perfect for this. I know a lot of other people have been using Screencast-O-Matic. You'll see in a minute how you can do it in Canvas. But Zoom is really, really perfect on this. I'm just going to stop my screen and share it again to make sure you can hear a video. Just 1 second. Share my screen. I don't know if you were aware of that. When you share a screen in Zoom, there's some options along the bottom and that allow you to share videos. Where am I a second. Right. Okay. What I'm going to show you is how I quickly, because quickly is the word here, do some recording within Zoom. Now I had to record a video because it's pretty difficult to show you how to record a video inside Zoom with Zoom running. So let me just switch over to showing you that. Do let me know if you can't hear this video. So here's how I'd go about a very quick way of doing some quite nice looking video recording. Just go into Zoom, pick a new meeting. So we start up with the screen. I would just go in here to security and just lock the meeting so that nobody else can come in. So you're having a meeting of one. Then you have this nice button down here for record. And it should just start. So that's now recording. In the video, this will be one big full screen. So it looks really, really good. So let's go off and share our desktop. Now, what I suggest you do before you share the desktop is just pause the recording. Make good use of that pause recording because it gives you a chance to breathe and get things right without, so you don't have to do any editing. The biggest problem with video is editing, so we want to try and get it as smooth as possible. So any time you need a break, you need to think, you want to look at your notes, just do that pause. There's a shortcut key you can see just behind my cursor. It will be different on a PC. I'm using a Mac. Okay, so now we have a full screen. That's quite of me with the church from where I live, or where I used to live, where I was brought up. So let's go off and share my screen now. So I'm currently paused. You can see it says recording paused. I'm going to share my whole desktop. And it just changes. It moves this control panel a little bit further out of the way. So let's find something to share. So let's have a look. Here's my presentation that I'm working on that you've just been looking at. So now I need to start recording again. So I can just come back up here. So I'm sharing my screen. I can do a little bit of, I can resume the recording. So now it's live and there will be a little picture of me on the screen. If you move the picture around, you'll see it will move in the recording we make. So let's just move it around a few times. And then I might want to go back to having my full screen head so you can see me in my finest glory. So let's just pause. So it's good to know the keystrokes so that you don't see the menu appearing all the time as well. So I paused. Let's just stop the share. So now we're back into a full screen mode, but it's not recording. So be very careful that you aren't, whether you are recording or not. Otherwise you end up speaking and realizing that you've missed a load of things. So we can either resume here or we can resume here. So let's carry on. So now we have a big talking head again. And then when you're finished, I would again just click on stop. And then when you've finally finished, you need to just end that meeting, your meeting of one, and it should start converting those files for you. So this will go off and it will change those into an MP4 format, which is a video format. And that is what you need for uploading to somewhere else. So we need to find somewhere to put it, and that's the subject of the next video. So here's the file we need. There's one MP4. I probably at this point would rename it so that I can remember what it is. Otherwise you end up with a folder full of these meetings and you've got no idea what these recordings are. So I normally would give that a different name. So I'll put that as a test recording so we can find it in a minute. Okay, right, so let me just come back to me. The idea really there was by using that, particularly by using Zoom, it's really quick to produce that file. If you were doing that in my posh editing tools, you would see that it would probably take about 4 times as long. And using the pause allows you to edit. So now you've got an MP4 file. Anyone else tried that? Had any success with it? If you want to unmute yourself or put something in chat, then do.
Yes, we've been using the ESOL, Rob, for doing our online assessments with our ESOL students.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you tried recording any solo parts of lessons that you can give to people as in advance?
I personally haven't, but having just seen your demonstration, I will in the
I
future.
will, yeah.
Give it a go. Right. Okay. Let's carry on. Just so you know, at the end, I will give you a link to a YouTube channel, which is my YouTube channel, which has loads of different things on and shows you again how to do this. I'll put the recording from today on there as well, and I'll also put some notes of the different things that I've mentioned, so things like Screencast-O-Matic and links to Canvas and Zoom, so you don't have to scribble anything down if you don't want to. So is there something in chat there? Oh, good morning. Okay, well, let's say goodbye to that. Okay, so you've got your MP4 file. It's on your computer. If you send that to somebody, the problem is that's huge. They also might not want to watch all of it. They might want to fast forward. It's not convenient. And if they've got a data plan, they won't thank you for it. You need to put it somewhere. And that's what the hosting part is. Now you have different choices. Let's just carry on 1 second on the slides. Actually, no, what we need to do is just go back one step. I'm just going to show you the result of that recording, not in its entirety, but just to give you an idea of what we've actually just created. So this was the video. When we started off first recording, we had that big talking head, as it's called in the business. Now we're in that business. So you can see it started off big. I paused things. Oops, that's at the beginning. Let's try again. So it started with a big talking head. I paused things, and then before I shared my screen, I then shared my screen, and you can see now I have a small picture, which we then, I think you'll see, we dragged it around. You can see it moving from one side to another. So you might need to do that if your picture is covering up something. Then we paused it at the end, and we went back to that big full screen. It takes a bit of practice, but if you get the hang of it, it is a really quick way of producing video. So now we've got our file, we need to put it somewhere. Let me switch back over here. The place that I would put things, and what I've done is I've actually created what's called a YouTube channel. I've used my college email address to create a YouTube channel. You find that at studio.youtube.com. Again, I'll put that in a link. And there's loads of examples of that on my YouTube channel. You just upload the video, and then you have a link like you would with any other YouTube channel that you found with Joe Wicks on, or whatever else you happen to have been watching. Mine are not as exciting as Joe Wicks's though. So YouTube is a great place to put it. Canvas is another place that you can upload it to. If you're paying, you can put things on Zoom. I am paying at the moment because I just thought it was a nice thing to do for them. I'll stop paying fairly soon. It doesn't give me any other advantages other than giving me the ability to do polls and stick things on a cloud rather than on my local computer. If you're technically challenged with some of this, you might want to have a look at Loom, loom.com. I'll show you that. Loom is a nice little, very simple, easy to use program. It does work really well, and it does at the same time as recording, it will host some of the things. The only downside is you only have 25 videos that you can host. I'm not sure if you can delete them on the free package, otherwise you have to start paying for it. But so if you're technically challenged, it's not a bad way of doing it. Even if you're not, it's really nice and simple. So you can choose. You need to also find, you could put it onto Canvas. So this is, again, is a page when you actually start using Canvas, you start off with this blank editor. There are some little options on here to upload your videos. So you can, if you know where your video is, you can upload it. So that's an image. You can upload a video from, sorry, which one? This one. So you can upload from YouTube, or you can upload from your individual files. I'll quickly show you what that looks like, just so you see how. No, that's not the right place. Come here. There we go. So we could take a YouTube link like this one. I'm just going to switch back to Canvas. You can put that in there. Oh no, maybe not. My cut and pasting is not doing very well today. Control that one. Too many keystrokes. So you can put in a nice YouTube video. It's being strange today. That normally would come up with a nice preview. It's obviously going in a funny mode today. Let's do it this way. So that's where you would upload the file that we just created. Again, when you have some training, you'll see how that works. I want to show you now is how, as I said, the video is going to be everywhere. So we're going to all need to pop down to Hair and Beauty to make sure that you've polished, in my case, polished my head. But you'll see all the time in here, you have the ability to record. Let me just switch to talking head. So you can use this to record part of a lesson straight into Canvas. You just click on start recording and off you go. That would then upload it. You can also use that for student feedback. So you can do video feedback individually, and it does work very, very well. So my preferred choice probably is still to put things into YouTube Studio, because normally when you're using something like Canvas or Moodle, this gives you a nice picture preview. But for some reason, that's, we do a demonstration, that's what happens. Things don't work. Okay.
So Rob, are you saying that we can actually record the lesson the night before?
You could do if you're brave.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, I mean, certainly, yeah, it's better to record things. I would, rather than doing live recording, I would record using something like Zoom. You have a chance to, you can do a minimal bit of editing if you put it onto the YouTube Studio. There are some videos on how to edit. You can chop the beginnings and ends off. Probably the most useful things I found recording videos were the fact that in Zoom you can stop the recording and start again. That will create an extra file, but you just, quite often the beginning of your recording will be the worst beginning you've ever done. And you might have to have 2 or 3 goes at it. So it's really useful to stop it, bin it, and start.
But then you send it to the students, or you show it within another Zoom lesson the next day or something?
You can show it within. You could show it within that, or when we start using. The nice thing about Canvas is that it has a really good mobile app. So if we can train our students to go onto a mobile app, which hopefully isn't too difficult, everything is there. So you can do your video in Zoom, put it onto a page in Canvas, publish the page. They then know that page has appeared, and they can see it on their phone really easily. So it's it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it is a nice system.
And they can listen to it over and over again.
They can listen to it multiple times. I know Linda was doing with her lessons. She was recording a video, pre-teaching some things, and then you got a chance to do flip learning. Yeah, you can certainly have fun with it.
Thank you.
So yeah, I probably would split them, and I would learn how to use a YouTube Studio, and it's not too difficult to use. Any more questions about video?
Rob, yeah. Just a second. Let me turn on my. Rob, if you have recorded a Zoom lesson or a video, is it? I mean, usually you can share the link with the students. But if I just want to share a particular portion of the video, is that a possibility? Can I edit a Zoom video?
You can. You could edit it in something like, you can edit it within, I'm trying to think of the word, within YouTube Studio. So
okay.
So this is my YouTube Studio.
Yeah.
If I go into videos, let me just get rid of that chat. Hang on a second. You can see there was the video. That was the video that we recorded, I think, here. Again, you have to hover over to find things, but you have a little option then to edit. So you then have to go edit and then click into editor here. And that will let you top and tail. Again, there are some videos on how to do that on my channel. So you can trim things down. There is another option, which is the other option is if we somebody mute, please. The other option is if we click on the video itself. In any YouTube video, when you're watching a video, I think there is a way of doing. I can't remember how to do it, but there is I think here, if you scroll to a particular point, so you wanted them to start at this point, when you go to share,
Yeah.
you have an option here that says start at.
Okay.
And that'll point them in the right place. If you don't want to edit, I tend to only edit when I have to because it takes time. So topping and tailing is easy. Anything else, try and do it while you're recording. It's just much easier.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Rob. Thank
Okay.
you.
Rob, could I just ask a question, please?
Yeah, fire away.
What is YouTube or Canvas easier in your experience?
Well, Canvas is going to deliver your whole curriculum. Maybe we'll have towards the end, we'll have a look at what that looks like. So you can structure a course into modules and then individual bits within that. So that's more about organizing things. You'll see it has stuff for accepting assignments, doing quizzes. We'll see it again in a minute with some quizzes.
Okay.
Hopefully. I still would probably just put things into YouTube Studio because it's just easier. And then I then link that into Canvas later.
Do you have an example of what it looks like, Canvas, the app looks like? Could you show me on the screen?
At the end, remind me, and I'll show you what I set up for a beginner's class.
And did you say that Canvas was free or paid for?
There's a college we've actually bought into it. So there are some in the CPD links. There are some links to the demos that a few of us attended that you can have a look at. I believe there will be training. It's going to be rolled out department by department over time. So it is a replacement for Moodle, which will be around, I think, for another year, and then things will be switched over. So you have a kind of swapping over time. But if you're doing stuff from scratch, then it's or you're moving things over, they can move things over from Moodle as well for us. If you want to play with it now, if you want to play with it now, have a search for Canvas Free for Teacher, which is what I'm using at the moment.
Okay, I'll have a look into that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Rob. Can I ask you a question?
When
I've done a Zoom meeting with some students, I had a video from YouTube that I wanted to play them, and I was playing it as a share screen, and they couldn't hear it.
Yeah. When you share your screen, at the very bottom of the share, by the way, where you want to do your desktop, look at the bottom. There's some tick boxes that say share for video or share sound. If you don't tick those, they can't hear it.
So it's under the share screen bit. Yeah.
Where it first pops up. I can't show you because you won't see it.
Obviously, and I can't see it.
Yeah.
So when it's the sharing screen, you can click on that and it opens it up. Brilliant. That's lovely.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Right, great. So photos. Throughout my little presentation, I've been using a whole collection of different photos, and they've come from these two websites. They're free. They're free to use website pictures. Some quite nice pictures. Be careful though. There are some that are probably some of the nicer looking ones. You might find they're ones that you have to pay for. But if you're creative, you will find some lovely images that you can use. So definitely. The other thing I use a lot of is particularly because I'm using things from IT are screenshots. So certainly learn how to do a screenshot. If you go to this website or search for take a screenshot, it will tell you how to do it. If you find you're doing lots of these, it's worth maybe looking at a program to do it. And if you search for something like screen capture program, if you're doing, as I said, if you're doing lots of them, something like that, what it does is it will allow you to capture areas of the screen and then put arrows and boxes on and then save it away as one picture. So it's very quick and smooth, but just to begin with. And screenshots are great for things like pictures of websites you want to show to it to make if you're referring to a website, take a screenshot of the website as well as having the link. So definitely something to play around with. Editing photos, you've got a couple of choices, and we'll have a quick look in Word itself is a really good place to edit pictures. There's also this little one here, Pixlr /X, which is an online free editor that can do a little bit more. And then if you really do lots of editing, try and get somebody to pay for Canva or something like that, which lets you do some very nice looking pictures. So we'll quickly, and PicMonkey is something similar, but that's paid again. So let's have a quick look at editing images in Word. So if we can get it to work. So if you drag and drop or insert using insert picture, once you've got a picture in, if you click on it, just let me move that out of the way. You click on it. The moment you click on it, you get this other option, picture format. Again, it doesn't appear until you click on the picture. So that's not there at the moment. Click on the picture, you have picture format. Click on that, and you have a load of different options. So the most useful one is, sorry, I've just got my toolbar in the way. There we go. Is over here, crop. So if you want to change what that picture looks like, you click crop, and then you can drag these sides in. And you can also move the picture around. So it's going to show me that little part. And then you just click outside. Just do that again. We click on the picture. Picture format. There's all kinds of things. If you want to get artistic, you can change it into, goodness knows what that is, frosted glass. Put things around it, change the colors. So you can do a lot of things from within here. And when you're done, if you right click on the picture, you can save the picture into a file and then put it somewhere else if you want to. So really, you know, that's my first port of call for things. If you are using lots of pictures in PowerPoint and everything else, please have a look at this little button here, compress pictures, because it will shrink everything down to a much smaller size. That's, but I'm not going to show you that now. We're running out of time. The other one is online editor. I'll briefly show you that if we go off to that. So this just allows you to upload a picture, and you can do all the same kind of things. You can crop things, you can add some text, you can make nice images. You know, I'll just quickly do that. Let's put some text on there so you can choose what I want to do. Add text. I don't know, love for all, hatred for none. There we go. So we'll stick that there. When you've done some editing, you can then save it and put that wherever you want to put it. It could be in Canvas, it could be in a Word document. It depends on what you really how artistic you feel. Okay. Is that a question?
Hey Rob.
Yeah.
It's John. Did you say Pixlr was free?
That one that's free. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you can't get your head around editing in Word, then maybe have a look at that one. It is quite nice. Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions about photo editing and picture editing? That was a very quick look at it. Okay, let's have a quick look at assessments. A lot of the ESOL team in Greenwich, we were using a product called Live Worksheets. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. A Live Worksheets, which currently is free, but I suspect it's going to be paid at some point soon. Really good product for if you have a normal, more traditional kind of worksheet, which is nicely presented, somebody's put together with pictures and other stuff on it, or something like a mock exam that's come from an exam board. You can take those PDFs or Word documents and you can make them so that people can actually, you know, answer the questions. And it's the best thing about it is it actually marks it for you. As long as you've got the answers correct, correct on it yourself, which is the problem I had. I didn't always get the answers right. Microsoft Forms, we'll have a quick look at that as well. There's a quiz section on there, which is really good for creating maybe in-class assessments. I'll show you that in a sec. The other ones, other people have played around with, and there's also something in Canvas, which we'll have a quick look at. So Microsoft Forms. This is again underneath your waffle. So go and explore. There's so many things underneath this waffle that you need to go and have a little look at. This is just an example one. Use the quiz, not the form. The form is just for data collection. The quiz allows you to put points on things. So this is a maths one that I put together. So we're going into, okay. Oh dear, we've changed our security or something here, haven't we? We're in the middle of changing security, aren't we, on our system? So I don't know I don't know, because we had that break in the other day. Hopefully this might work. We'll see. So this one is a quiz that has 15 points. I put my instructions, and so you can see these are in individual items. This one's a little bit. I'm using a red, amber, green thing. This is meant to be used in class, so they can tell me how they feel about the particular subject I've taught. So I've set this up with three sets of questions for different levels, I'll just show you what that looks like.
I can't see it for some reason. I can't.
Share. You can't see that. Are you able to flip over to just being in speaker view rather than? Can you see my screen, or are you seeing me? Hello. So, can anyone else see that?
I can see it.
Okay. Well, we'll just. Okay. Well, we'll just press on. Okay. So this is what it might look like to a student when you're running it. Because we've been doing it remotely, I put a name in here, and I think it was just quite useful to have names. You can see I've set this up to be a little bit cleverer, but you don't have to be this clever. So you can pick. I think I'm okay with this subject. So I've taught something first. I need to put my name in. So I decided to pick the amber questions, but if they'd picked a different one, they would have got a different set of questions. This is all marked and gives them points. So that's what it looks like to a student. It also works very well on a mobile. So I'm planning on using these halfway through a lesson in class, in which case I can then look at the responses. So this gives you a very nice overview of what's going on. You can see who's actually completed it, which level of question they picked, and then you can look at the individual questions as to what answers they actually gave. This one is not particularly useful. I should have picked a different one that had more answers in it, but you would have seen a pie chart of, scroll down here, you would have seen a pie chart with the answers and what answers people, as a group they gave.
Rob,
yeah.
Do you want to write all your questions yourself and the answers, or can you import them from?
This one, no, you have to do it yourself.
You have to do so. That is time consuming.
It isn't that bad. I'll just show you what the answers look like individually. So you can look at individual person's answers, and you can scroll through them. You can see how long it took them, how many points they got, and so on. Setting those up is pretty quick. Let me just go back to, if we go back to forms. So setting one up, you just pick new quiz. It's all, you put in the title. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be very clever with my titles. You want a question, so your multi-choice question. There's my question, my answers. Add another answer. Which one's the right answer? You just tick the right answer. If they have multiple answers, you can pick multiple answers. How many points do you want? 3 points. Add another question. Do have a look under things like here. This is quite useful. I split things into sections. So I create a section first, and maybe put a picture in just to divide up different things. If it's a longer set of answers, add new. If you want to do free text, you want just somebody to put in to type an answer. That's how you do that. Again, you can't really put points on that. You would have to go back and add the points in later, I think, for those ones. So it feels quite quick. I don't know, it's just me, but it does feel quite quick at doing things. The things I was doing with, if you want to do different areas, like I was doing with red, amber, green things, you set those up as different sections, and you use this add branching thing to allow you to do that. That's one for a different day. So that I think is quite quick. Live worksheets, which a lot of the ESOL department use. This is what a live worksheet looks like. It's liveworksheets.com. So you basically take a Word document or a PDF, and they're organized into workbooks. So worksheets inside workbooks. So this is a workbook for my maths level. These are all individual worksheets that I'd set up. And this is what one might look like. This is something I've created. So I've taken a Word document. I've got a picture from one of those free sites. You can put things in like I've done here you can embed YouTube videos inside the page. So this is a bit of a lesson. Then there's some exercises, then another video, and then some more exercises. So that's what it looks like. Something might look like when it's set up. Let me just try and find something a bit more traditional. So you could take something like this, which is a scan from a book. Again, I've made this so that they can pick different answers. You can do ticks. You can do matching and join things together. You can put free text. You can put videos in, you can put links in. There's an awful lot that you can do with it. And I don't know what anyone else has found who's used it. It's a fairly quick, I found it a fairly quick experience. the nice thing again about this is that you can then go back to your list of students. Let's have a look at that. So I could pick, let's pick this group. You can have a look, you can assign them a workbook, and then you can see what they've actually done. So this is a group of students here. This is my workbook, and these are the individual worksheets within that workbook, and these are the individual scores. So I can then look at this one. Let's have a look at, I don't know, let's have a look at that. So we can see she got 10 out of 10, so there's not going to be anything very exciting. But you can see, we can see all her different ones. Let's have a look at this measuring angles. So this is that's the one that she happened to have got wrong. So it does give feedback to the student as well. If you can choose, you can optionally give them a chance to get feedback and do it again.
You can also give them written feedback, can't you, from the top?
Yeah, from the top you can change the mark that it's given. You can put markings on it. You can put ticks and crosses, and you can also type. So you could say, you can put something.
I use that repeat exercise.
Say, well done. Yeah, and you can give it to them again. You can say, do it again.
And you leave them some feedback there.
Yeah, so you can give them some feedback, send them around to do it another time. For me, it's just the fact that it was really easy to see who had done what, where, when. If they've done it multiple times, it even tells you at the bottom when they did it, how many, if they've done it again, how many times they've done it. You have a lot of control over doing that. Briefly, let's have a look at, this is what Canvas would look like. This is actually a whole module, a course. So this is a level 1 maths course. I happen to have put in several modules in here. And then within that, so I've got a module on probability. I've got an introduction. This is a page, and this is a quiz or a questionnaire. So let's have a quick look at what one of those might look like. It works a very similar kind of way to what you've just seen with the forms. We can preview it and have a look at it. Let's have a quick look.
You made this in Canvas, or
this is in Canvas, yeah. So it's the same kind of thing. You type something in, you've got a bit more flexibility. So I've included a graphic. So you just go in and put in those. Let's have a look at, this is what the student would see. If we go back and have a look at it, if you were editing it, it looks very, very similar. You have some instructions, you pick your questions. So there are the questions. You edit a question. So you've got the different answers, and it does the same kind of things that forms will do. You tell it which one's correct, and you can even put a message up to say, this is why you picked the wrong answer. So here I've got a general comment about the wrong answers. So it's up to you how you use that, just so you can see what that looks like. The value.
How about sharing these? Well, if you make a quiz.
How about
across the level with other teachers? Yeah,
well, you can. I've just gone into. There's an option there called grades. So those were these 2 columns are the 2 quizzes that I've got set up for that particular level. At the moment, I'm only looking at probability. So you can pick the different areas that you've got. And these are my 2 quizzes. I've put these under groups. So I have things that I do in the lesson. So you can say each quiz is meant to be used in lesson, at the end of a lesson, or homework. You can put your own titles in, but those are the titles I've chosen. So I can see, if I change to all modules, this was the real students where I played around with some of my more advanced math students. I got them on the system remotely with only sending them an email. So I got some of them on, not all of them. So now you can see all the quizzes I had over time, but this is more useful to me because I can then see how many of these students, how did they do in the lesson? How did they do by the end of the lesson? And how did they do in the homework? You can also see who completes homework. So there's lots of things you can do with it once you've got it set up. Anyway, though, again, kind of got sidetracked a little bit more. There's lots of different ways of seeing progress and seeing what people have done. So I can look on here for that course, for example. I can see this student has done all the modules. So you've got a lot of this is kind of that organizing and keeping in touch with things. So it is very nice. Now you've sidetracked me, haven't you? And so any other questions about quizzes? Anyone use?
About sharing?
Sharing? What, sharing the quiz?
If I make a quiz, there is no point that you make the same quiz for the same level. So we can all do something and then share them or put them in a bank or being able to access them.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff with it. If you're talking about Canvas, there's a lot of stuff in there for sharing with other places as well. So
Okay.
there's a lot of content that has been done. This is what the Commons thing is. You can share between classes, and you can either copy a whole module, or you can all run. I think you can probably run the same module, but I haven't played with that properly yet. So
Okay, thank you.
So next, I've got a question. If
Yeah,
we're
fine.
running, if Moodle and Canvas are run concurrently next year,
Yeah.
how do we know where to or which system we're using? I've done quite a few quizzes in Moodle.
Yeah. Well, I think I know that they've said we will be able to move stuff from Moodle into Canvas. So at the end of the day, it's about gradually getting into Canvas. I'm going to jump straight in with both feet and just go for it.
So will it be there for everybody? So can in theory every department decide whether to use Moodle?
I think it's up to your probably up to your department manager to decide when when they start doing training and when they bring it on.
Okay.
I think it makes sense to put new content into Canvas, doesn't it? Because Moodle is going to be defunct at the end of next academic year. We've got a year's grace to move stuff across, as I understand it.
And my understanding is they will move it for there is a way of bringing stuff from Moodle into Canvas.
That's good.
Whether you want
to do that. Francis about that the other day. Could I just ask you, Rob, whether you know, because in Moodle we've got I mean, this is pertaining to what Livia was saying about sharing. In Moodle, for example, we have an entry 3 course that all, we have one course per level rather than per class, so that anyone at that level, whichever class they're in, can access all the materials. So that's our way of sharing effectively among all the teachers. So anyone teaching ESOL entry 3, for example, all of their students have access to anything that anybody posts in there, unless somebody doesn't want to.
I'm going to answer I don't know, because at the moment I'm only using the free for teacher one, which is around having just one person. I'm sure there's stuff for sharing and deciding what you share, what you don't share, and it'll be at
probably
different levels.
A question for Francis then, how they're going
I think
to
as we start to get given access to it and start to have training on it, I know the idea is that we'll start to share some of those things and find out what's going on. One of the things you can't do on the free one, for example, is you can't use very easily stuff that you've got on OneDrive or stuff that you've got in Word, but you can in the one that the college will have. So if you've got PowerPoint presentations already on OneDrive, you can put those in the middle of your modules, and the student doesn't have to have PowerPoint; they can just see it. So there's lots of things like that I can't do at the moment with the one I'm playing with. So it's not a fair, comparison to work out what we can and can't do. But
we had an answer pop up at the bottom I saw from Francis saying that the registrations in Canvas are going to be linked to Unit E. So it sounds like it's going to be per class. So we'll have to find ways to share between classes at the same level if we want to, I guess.
Yeah.
I agree that should be
lots of training.
Yeah,
lots of training. I'm going to be busy with everyone in the ESOL department at Greenwich, helping you. So right, let's try and progress. We're down to.
Okay, Francis says we can have multiple groups on one course.
Brilliant.
That's good. That would be helpful. I think yes, that would be really helpful.
Very helpful. Thank you, Francis.
Thank you.
I'm going to quickly look at PowerPoint. Just very briefly, just because I want to try and spark your creativity with that and get you to have a look maybe have a little look at Sway as well. So let's just quickly have a look at those. So making presentations, we all love PowerPoint. Let me just switch to my PowerPoint. Well, you may not love PowerPoint. I don't know. I'll take it for granted. There's also Google Slides that some people use. There is a lot more hidden away within this. So when you go in, normally, if you just do a new one, hang on, let me just go back to new. Normally that's what you see, and there's just lots of different styles, but there's a whole load of stuff hidden away. So have a try with this, something like this. If you were looking for, in the search box, top right hand corner, I've just typed certificates. So there's some nice looking, very LSEC-y like certificates that have appeared there. Or you do, if you type some other words in, like travel, there are some lovely templates. If we load that one in, it might take a while thinking about it. There's some lovely different templates, so you don't have to be stuck in the same thing. It's chugging away.
Is that Google slide you're on now?
No, that's not. That's in PowerPoint.
Oh, PowerPoint. Okay.
There are different versions of it, and so some of them may not do it quite the same. But they're there.
I like you can get
Karen.
corner, and it automatically comes up with pictures and things for you.
Oh yeah, well, that's
and how it's going to be
designed. That's this one here.
It gives you options on how it's going to shape in the slides. It's really good.
Yeah, so this one here, you've got. Let me just put my toolbar back. If we go back to home, you can see this column down here. Sometimes that will pop up. If not, have a look under home and then design ideas to turn it on and off. As you put things in, so when I typed this slide, I typed in a 3 bullets, PowerPoint.
Change. Yeah.
I typed in PowerPoint, Google Slides, Sway, and it went, how about doing it like this? So you can choose different things. So that's those, and depending on what you've got in there, it will give you different ideas. So again, just if you want to, instead of just having something like this all the time, you can go off and change it into something a little bit different. So yeah, those design things are really, really good. The other one underneath, just switching away from PowerPoint, underneath your waffle, you've got a thing called Sway, which I didn't really want to click on that, but you'll see Sway. It takes a little bit more getting used to, and the presentations look a bit like this. But it's worth having an explore if you haven't got enough time. If you spare time. Oh, okay, it's going to time out again. Okay, that's the joy of technology and security, isn't it? That things time out. Let's see if. Try again. No, it's not going to play ball for me today. Let's go back again. Okay, we're running out of time anyway. But Sway they're quite animated presentations. It's a little different way of doing things, but it's well worth a little bit of an experiment with if you want to create something a little bit out of the ordinary. I've got some things on Google Slides. It looks just like PowerPoint, but has its own methodology. So we've just done that little demonstration. Okay, I did have a section on organizing it all, which I kind of got rid of because really that's where something like Canvas is going to come into its own. When you look at, we go back to my individual module. No, it's not going to do it. Modules, got one somewhere. Here we are. That organizing things and being able to see how things come in, being able to grade things, so you can do a set of piece of work. It can come into you. People can submit it via their phone app or online. You get to know it's there. You can pass some comment on it, send it back to them to do it again. The grading is really, really nice on it. So hopefully I've excited you enough about that one. The other thing really is to challenge yourself to maybe just find some little things every day, or every other day, just for a couple of minutes, and hopefully there's some ideas here. So if you've not used breakout rooms, give that a try. Try the quizzes. Learn how to mail merge. That one for me was really, really useful in producing some of the witness statements we had to do. I took a list of stuff from Excel and I merged that into Word. It's not too difficult to do, and I'll help you with that, as you'll see in a minute, with some things on my
I have a question for Francis. I did the training on grade scope, but if we have Canvas, we do not need grade scope, or can we embed the grade scope into Canvas? Rob, have you seen the grade scope?
I don't know if I've missed the month.
Sorry, just to pick that one up. It's a separate system, so you can use it alongside any other tools that you're using, so Moodle or Canvas.
It's like the same kind of thing. Are we keeping Turnitin? Because I know some departments use CHE departments.
We will still have Turnitin. Turnitin will also be on Canvas as well.
It integrates, doesn't it?
Yeah, integrated. Okay. Because you don't want to repeat things twice and be told, no, you have to do it on Canvas, not on grade scope, or the other way around.
I ask you a question regarding teaching mathematics online, because I was in one of these other talks the other day, and the engineering department was saying it would be very difficult to teach mathematical concepts online because of the calculations and going through the calculations, and how would you know where the student's going wrong? Whereas in teaching in a classroom, it's much more straightforward because you can actually see where they're going wrong.
Yeah,
I beg to differ. I beg to differ. There's a Chinese guy on YouTube. What's his name now? He does online, very interactive math sessions every night since we've been locked down. I love it. If we could have that in the classroom, that'd be great.
No, I mean, I don't agree with what was said, but on the other hand, I'd like to know what the maths teachers think of that, because I've taught maths.
Okay.
I mean, I'm teaching level 1 and below, so it starts to become more of an issue, but the lower levels it isn't as obvious. I don't know. Has anyone got any other suggestions?
Looking at center.
Right. Okay. So I'm just going to challenge you to have a look at some different things that were really useful to me. There's lots of things.
Two cameras, Rob.
Sorry.
Have you got two cameras in your case?
I've got another camera over here. Yeah.
Because we can see the side of you.
You can, so you could see there's a big version.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Right. But now I've all kinds of clever tricks up my sleeve. Yeah. So you've completely lost my train of thought now, haven't you? So yeah. So go and have a look at. So next step really is two things. Francis and I wanted to make sure that everyone is doing that CPD feedback. So make sure if you go to that website, that will allow you to give a bit of feedback for today. My YouTube channel is on tiny.cc TNT. Teachers need teachers too. I'm going to be putting lots of little challenge things. So all the different things that I put on here and a few more. There was a really good, really enjoyed little presentation this morning about accessibility and creating things in an accessible way for people with different issues of sight or hearing. I'm going to do a few on that as well. Just trying to do things that are maybe a minute or 2 minutes where you learn a new little skill that can help you out. So go and have a look at that. I'll put this video, probably might edit it a little bit, but we'll put this video up on there as well, along with all the links that I've mentioned before. So any questions in general about anything? I've just dumped a load of stuff on you, but
I have a question, Rob. Where are you? It looks like a very big library somewhere.
Well, the truth of the matter is the behind the screens is a bit more like this. It's a
shed, isn't it?
It's my office, and I could take the camera on a rove around. So, any other questions? Or I'll try and share my phone, and I'll show you what the phone app for Canvas looks like as well. Let's have a look. Any other questions?
Hi, Rob. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, in setting the quizzes, my name is Joseph. Sorry.
Hi, Joseph.
What are the essence of the amber, red, and green?
Okay. Well, I use what I use with my learners. I have traffic light cards, so they're on the desk normally, and if they're feeling uncertain about something, they put it to amber. If they're really uncertain about it, they put it on red, and if they're happy, they put it on green. And so it's a self-evaluation tool. But then there were some with some of the maths classes. There's some lovely ones on Pixar Maths, which use that technique all the way through. So all their worksheets and questions are all graded in the same way.
Fantastic. So thank you.
It's a nice little tool. Okay, let me see if I can share my my phone. Hang on, I've got to plug it in. Just bear me a second. Excuse me showing you my stomach. There you go. All right. Okay, hopefully this might work. I don't know. No, that's not the screen, is it? Trust. Hang on a second. Try again. I wasn't prepared for this, and let's try cable. Trust. Okay. Got passwords and all kinds to get in. Bring your shared window to the front. don't understand what that means. Okay, let's try. I'll have one more go. Cable. Screen share. No, that's not working. All right, we'll try plan B. Let's see if no, that doesn't work either. Media. No, I don't think I'm going to have any luck with that. There is a YouTube video that I did showing. Let me see if I can find it. Close. No, it'll be a pain to try and find it. That's what I'll do is I'll background is superb. Let's have one last try at sharing that screen and see if we can get that to work. AirPlay. Plugin was required. No. Okay. Try that again. No, is that sharing? What's that? What can you see? Can you see my phone or not there?
No, just
no. Okay, no, it's obviously not going to play ball today. I wasn't prepared for that one. In essence, what it looks like is a very simplified. You can make it a very simplified version, just so that I'll show you what. Hopefully when you get some training, one of the first things I did. These are all the different parts of Canvas, and you have an option to hide them. I've turned most of these things off. Now you may want to put a few on. With my low-level students, I don't want them to have assignments. I don't want them to see a syllabus. I don't want them discussing stuff. So I've trimmed it all the way down. But that's just really to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, anything else?
I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry, Rob. What is your? You might have put it in, and maybe I missed it. What is your channel called? Your YouTube channel for all of this that you've.
Well, let me go back. Let's have a look. In a sec.
Because I was taking screenshots as you're going along, but I just want to double check that I've got it.
Infringing my copyright. There you go. That's,
oh, there. Yes, I've got that. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's just so that I can go over what you've just done in my own time.
I am trying to go through. There's lots of different things on there where there's some stuff about YouTube Studio, doing stuff with recording. The question was about breakout rooms. Breakout rooms are pretty. I don't know if when you first do them, they are quite scary. Let me just see if I can find the. Let me just find that. James teaches too. Okay. Okay, so unfortunately, because I don't have 300 subscribers, I get a lovely name that's UC blah blah blah. That's why you've got that nice little short link. If you want to scroll down, you'll find there's two things here. That's right. There's three things about breakout rooms. If you just want to experience what it looks like from a student's point of view, which maybe you haven't looking at it on a phone and other things, that's what this one's about. This one's a bit of an overview of it, and then this one is what it looks like if you're a teacher, what you're pushing, what buttons you're pressing. That's one of the reasons I love Zoom rather than Teams. There's a couple of things that I like about Teams. You can do something similar, but breakout rooms in Zoom, you can just say, I want 6 breakout rooms, done, randomly put people in. Teams, it's a bit more moving stuff around as far as I can see. It also doesn't do video very well, but that's a side issue. Anything else?
Oh, can I ask?
Yeah.
Zariana, you know, when you record on Zoom, can you record a few separate videos within one session if you press stop instead of pause?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So is it recording as separate videos and converting them straight away? Because I lost quite a lot of videos because it just didn't prompt me to convert.
Not had that problem.
Really?
I can't see. No, it's the only other time is where I've been too slap happy and clicked on stop converting. You have to do it twice for it to stop. So I don't know what's happened to you there. You're right. I tend to do one meeting and then do another meeting for each one. I just mentally, I don't like having. I also, because of what I do is if I go wrong, I stop the video. and then I start it again. So I look at the last one. So it just makes sense to me to start another meeting and come back in again. But yeah.
What I thought about, when I was doing mock exams and I just wanted to record all the students within one session, instead of making separate appointments for each of them and sending them separate individual invites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so but something went wrong and I didn't have much time. So basically I've lost some videos.
Yeah.
I couldn't find them.
Caroline is saying you can record the whole thing and edit it. My only problem with editing is it's time consuming.
Yeah.
So I'd rather use the pause button as my editor rather than do some other stuff.
But if you pause, then it's one video, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But if you press stop, then it actually records a separate video.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've done my job. I've got lots of people's heads exploding, which is good. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, Rob, I just wanted to ask, what time did you start today? Because I made a note in my calendar. It was starting at noon. Was I wrong then?
Yeah, it was.
What time did you start?
It was 11, but it was something at some point. One thing said 12. I don't know. But,
I see. Is there going to be another one, or is this?
I've recorded it, so you can.
Oh, if you can send it to me, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, if you go and have a look on my channel. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Anything else? So, yeah. Well, if feel free to email me and if you've got some questions on different things, I'm quite happy to respond to the different emails. So okay. All right. Goodbye to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay. All right,
thank
cheers.
you.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you, Rob. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Rob. Bye. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Rob.